right, greetings family, how's everybody doing? All right, Orlando in the house, wow. All right, well everyone, welcome to the Africa for the Africans Tours and Investments, which is what I do every annual October. And what I'm going to talk about today is going to be focused on the tours and investments all together. This one is called Opportunities in Traveling to Ghana and Building a Business Cooperative Enterprise, or Ghana Tours and Investments. Right. I'm originally from Kingston, Jamaica, and just being born in Jamaica, have the blood and the spirit and the energy of our great ancestors, especially Marcus Garvey, which really put this motion in place as far as getting us to reconnect to our ancestral roots. And unfortunately, Marcus Garvey never made it to the continent, but the work that he did inspired millions of brothers and sisters that came after him to really put this work in motion. Now, the Africa for the Africans Tours and Investment Company, we started in October 2006. It was myself and one of my co-workers at that time. And my other co-owner worked with us for a few years, and I just continued the mission on after a while. He's working on some other projects really dealing with sustainable living. So we just really have to branch ourselves out to really get this work going. Now, as far as me traveling to Africa, everybody always asks, what really inspired you? Marcus Garvey words, Malcolm X words, but more so the study groups from their books that really inspired us to be self-reliant and self-sufficient. So most of the the energy that I talk about is really around those two things, because I really feel that we have to put our energy together and build a future for our race, and then we have to really think about our children that are coming up and what are we going to do and what are we going to put in place for them to really have a strong future. The African continent is where our ancestral roots come from, and the African continent is where we really belong and where we really need to reconnect. But we wouldn't really just notice in general this being taken away from our homeland for over 400 years and being groomed in the diaspora to be more like Europeans and be more like their servants. So after a while, we have to really look to think of how are we going to break this chain? How are we going to really make that connection to the African continent? You hear a lot of things that sometimes our brothers and sisters don't like us here and there, but that's been the rumor. It's it's like wherever you go and it's a black country, we get put against each other. If we're leaving from Jamaica and we're heading to America, we probably get told, watch out for those black Americans, they're going to rob you and do certain things to you. And vice versa, if you're leaving from American going to maybe a Caribbean country, African country, they're told the same madness. So it's the same madness of us being put against each other. So the Africa Tours and Investment is really a private operation designed to get brothers and sisters with similar minds who want that natural connection in Africa, but also want to open up to different things like business investment, and more of that is really research based, because not everybody's in a position where you can just get up and make a full commitment to live and do business in Africa. It's very unrealistic, but the more information we have, the better we can organize ourselves, the more realistic that becomes. So a lot of times I take different groups of people to Ghana, and I don't expect everybody to just repatriate, but what I do want everybody to understand is that you have one of the greatest opportunities to change our future with reconnecting to Africa. So during the presentation, I'm going to go through certain things, and I'm going to probably do some questions in between and not wait all together till the last minute. Right? So our vision is reconnect Africans in the diaspora to our motherland for repatriation and Pan-Africanism. And most of what I'll talk about is you're going to see is going to be referenced on our website, africafortheafricans.org. Right? Now, this connection I talk about, it starts with individuals registering on our website. And once you register on the website, we have two tour links on the main menu of the website. One is for Ghana October 2014, and one is for Ghana October 2015. I usually put these tours up ahead of time, and they're all usually the last week of October to the first week of November. Now, once you click on the tour link, I'm big on information, and if anyone is looking to make this kind of investment, you want them to make sure that they have a full tour overview, a full itinerary, general terms, visa information. So those are literally all on the site. And even have details on what to pack, what to bring, and how to get yourself fully organized for the journey. And the beautiful thing about this process that we go through a conference called meet and greets, or just one-on-one talk over the phone or video call, is that we continue to go over the same information over and over, which really just give you clarity, because most of the people that travel with us have never been to the African continent before. So unless you have someone that's experienced to guide you, you're not going to really know how to exactly make those moves. So that's really our goal. Our goal is to help our people in the diaspora to make a successful reconnection to the African continent, and Ghana being the main country. And these tours cover your roots, business, investment, nightlife, shopping, networking. You're talking about a full 2-week itinerary that gives you, give you the best of Ghana. It really just gets you into the culture, and then kind of just get you into the country. Because a lot of times you go to certain countries and you don't get a chance to get into the country, get into the areas where the people are, and really reconnect. And this journey does that for you. Yeah. So over the past 8 years, we've done 8 tours, starting from December 2006, October 07, October 08, October 2011, October 2012, October 2013, and those are all Ghana. I did do a Ghana, Togo, and Benin, and that was in October 2009. I stopped at that time because those are 3 different countries, and it's a little, if you don't have that much travel experience, it could be overwhelming. So you kind of stick with Ghana, and Ghana becomes that foundation. So what we're dealing with now is the upcoming Ghana Repatriation Investment Tours, October 2014 and 2015. All right, and before I start talking about the details of different package, I want to know, has anybody in this room been to the African continent? Other than Ron? Oh, wow, all right.
My dreams. Yes.
That's wonderful, in a dream. And a lot of times that's where it starts at. The dream starts, and the vision starts in the dream.
Yes.
The packages that we have, what it does, it includes transportation, tours throughout Ghana, daily exercise, and meditation sessions. A lot of times we do, in order for you to really enjoy the country, you want to get up early, and if you're going to get up early, you do meditation, a little stretching, exercise, really get your day flowing. Daily continental breakfast and gourmet dinner, naming ceremony, ancestral celebration, hotel accommodation, double occupancy, business and investment conference / networking, and entrance to all sites and activities. So basically, the tour package covers your full time during Ghana. The only thing it doesn't cover is the lunch, and that's a flexibility. That way, if you want to eat something more, more traditional, whenever we go to get lunch, you can just order, something real traditional or local. All right, our all-inclusive tour package is a 14-day itinerary, or 13 days in Ghana. Right? So we break it down. It's 2 days to travel, day to get there and day to get back. Not literally a day. It's literally an 11-hour flight from New York to Ghana. The capital city, we spend 6 days. We spend 3 days in Accra, Ghana, at the beginning and towards the end. And that's where the airport is in. It's just like, everywhere you have one of those cities you call the main city or the mad city. It's a very busy city with a whole lot of things going on, a lot of culture, a lot of history. And we spent 2 days in another area called Akosombo, which is in the eastern region. And I don't expect everybody to understand these things, but when I start saying these names, after a while I start becoming more familiar, especially when you go back in the site and you see certain things on the maps. We spent 2 days in Kumasi in the Ashanti region, and 3 days in Cape Coast, Elmina, which is where the dungeons are. So I just want to give you kind of a little breakdown of how the structure of the tour is. Basically, we're going to four different areas, and we're going to, so we're moving around every few days. So really give you a chance to enjoy the country, really give you a chance to just, get out. All right, the first region I'm going to talk about in Ghana, the Accra region. We're going to go through some of the things that we do there, that way you just get an idea. And it's not going to flow like from day 1 to 14 like itinerary. It's just going to give more of an overview. Now, while we're in Accra / the mountains, we do the Black Star Square and Independence Arch. That's where the independence of Ghana in 1957 took place. So we literally, drive to that area and walk around, and you'll see you can just see the greatness of that square where, where Kwame Nkrumah stood and declared independence for his country, and also that's the same place where he had his vision of wanting the Africans in the diaspora to reconnect back to their homeland. And he was one of the first to really push that movement in place. And he's also a protege of Marcus Garvey. So all of the Pan-African energy, we're all under the same umbrella of people that we learn from and build on our knowledge. In the city now, we have three Pan-African sites. We have W.E.B. Du Bois Center, George Padmore Library, and Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park. Now, these are literally all memorials, all these great scholars who were part of the independence movement in the 1950s. They're buried at those locations, and we go there faithfully every year to show respect and homage. And that's the beautiful thing about just going to Ghana, because nowhere else in the world can you go and find a memorial of three of the greatest Africans that we have had in this part of the century that really set things in place for the rest of the African continent. So that right there is one of the very significance of why Ghana stands out in us, because of all of the work that's going on in that country to help the rest of Africa. Right, we go to University of Ghana, drive through the campus, and also they have a great bookstore there. You can get all your language materials there. We have a beautiful botanic garden in the mountains, so that usually gives us a chance to walk through the park and socialize the different fields. Rita Marley has a house up in the mountains, Studio One. We still pass by there and take pictures. Part of it is burnt down. I'm not sure what she's going to do with it. If she's going to fix it up, or if she's going to sell it. But it's still one of our sites. I mean, this is Bob Marley's wife. The vision that they had was always to do things in Africa, and it just makes me proud every time I go there. I see, I see Rita Marley and her family from St. Kingston, Jamaica, that I grew up in. They're doing wonderful things. She has several foundations also in Ghana. There's an orphanage / school that we support in the mountains called Trinity. It is a product of work that a lot of people I know in Atlanta that have put work together to make sure that they have supplies and make sure they do different contributions, whether financial or help the school / orphanage in any way. And that's a lot of what you're exposed to when you travel with us in Ghana. You see our people from the diaspora working there in Africa and doing things and doing things with our own people, and just really building a strong relationship. And unfortunately, you turn on your TV, you always see some European, and they're the ones that are being highlighted for doing certain things with children or doing certain things in the country. So, when you travel with us, you really get a chance to see what our people are doing, and our people are doing a lot of phenomenal things in Ghana. And while we're in Accra, one of the big highlights we have is the Repatriation and Investment Conference. And this conference is a 2-hour conference at the beginning of the tour and one towards the end. And it's strictly set up to assist anyone who wants to live and do business in Ghana. So you have people who are repatriated, they're making presentation, and their presentation is based on their experience of living there in Ghana. We also have lawyers, bankers, and people from the Lands Commission that talks about how you get access to land and the procedures, because wherever you go in the world, whatever country you decide to do business in, you want to learn the culture of business. So that's this conference is really set up for that. As far as networking, I usually have at least 7 to 10 different people that used to live in the diaspora and that are there now in Ghana doing wonderful things. So you get a chance to really connect with different people. And for some people who have the same vision as them, whether it's in business or certain other things, you can always connect your resources. A lot of times we have people there in Ghana that's already established there. They're looking for people from the diaspora to come there in Ghana for them to work together and build or expand business. While we stay in Accra, we stay at the hotel called the Michelin Hotel. It's a local hotel, 2-star hotel, and it's important when we do these journeys, we make sure that we spend the money with our own people. So all of the hotels, all of the venues, everything that you can possibly think of, with the exception of the airline, are all Black-owned. And so once we get our own Black-owned airline, we'll be able to make this a move where we can start putting some more resources in the hands of our people. Ghana Airways did have a setup that go directly from JFK directly to Accra, Ghana, but not sure what completely happened. I don't want to speculate, but their routes were shut down, and later on their routes were given to an American-based airline. All right, I'm going to go into the second overview of the location that we're going to go to after Accra, which is the eastern region. And this location is called Akwasambo, and we're literally right there on Lake Volta. And Lake Volta represents one of the largest man-made lakes. And Lake Volta is also a setup of a hydroelectric dam which powers Ghana and powers other countries around Ghana. We do a wonderful boat ride on the lake. You get a chance to read this. Cruise on the lake is real fun. We have a lot of wonderful videos that shows us on the lake, but also talks about the history of the lake and the dam. We have a land site here called Fiancra, and this is a land site that was set up for Africans in the diaspora if you wanted to get access to land in more for like a gated community or subdivision. Living amongst your peers and sharing that reconnection journey. So Fiancra is one of the land sites that we go to and make our way around, and we have people that we have known here for years, and they really just share their passion as far as their experience, and that's what everything really is. Just when we link the group with people, we want them to feel everybody's experience there in Africa. They're directly in Ghana. Now the third region that we go to is the Ashanti region. The highlight is Kumasi. We have a school that was founded by a sister in Atlanta called the Youth Institute